This is the Isinwheel electric bike, and I gotta say, just looking at it, you can see this is a compact e-bike designed for daily commuting, quick errands, or just fun rides around town. The model I have is the 14-inch version, though it's also available in a 16-inch and even bigger sizes, so depending on your height or what you prefer, there are options. But honestly, this smaller frame, I actually found it makes it really easy to handle, store, and carry if you ever need to bring it inside. When I first got this bike, I'll be real with you, I was a bit skeptical. I wanted something simple for my nephew. He's just getting into bikes, and I didn't want to get him something that felt intimidating or too heavy for his age. You know how it is when you think of electric bikes. There's a lot of intimidating gear. Sometimes they're really bulky or super complicated to put together. My big worry was that I'd spend hours just trying to figure out the assembly, but it turned out way smoother than I thought. The instructions do require a little patience, especially if you're not used to bike parts or haven't put one together before. If you're totally new, give yourself a good 30 to 45 minutes and just take it step by step. The main frame arrives mostly ready to go, so you're really just attaching a few things: pedals, handlebars, basket, and checking the seat. Key features that I noticed right away include the fact that this thing is portable. It folds up, which is a huge deal if you're living in an apartment or you want to save space in your garage or even your car trunk. Seriously, it takes under 10 seconds to fold or unfold. The handlebars and pedals basically just snap into place, and the seat is easy to adjust. If you've ever been worried about running out of space, believe me, this is a lifesaver. Riding it, I immediately felt how solid the build was. The frame is made from carbon steel, which means it can handle a lot, up to 264 pounds, so even for adults or teenagers, you're not going to have any issues with strength. The ride itself is actually smooth, thanks to fat tires. Even though these are only 14 inches, they're wide, so you get enough grip and shock absorption on rougher city roads. There's a front fork suspension too, which helps with bumps. I took it over some rough patches in my neighborhood, and it was actually way more comfortable than I expected from such a small bike. If you're worried about stability on a mini e-bike, I can honestly say the wide tires really do the trick. Under the hood, or well, inside the frame, is a 500 watts, sometimes up to 750 watt peak motor. That's enough power that you'll really feel it, especially if you're going uphill or you hit a bit of a headwind. With the smart chip and adaptive power, I noticed it seems to know when you're struggling a little, like on a steep section, and kicks in with even smoother assistance. It's what Isinwheel calls smart uphill. I tried a few hills with my nephew, and he actually laughed at how easy it was. It's supposed to handle 15-degree inclines, and honestly, I'd agree with that. For city commutes or hilly parts of town, it does what it says. The battery is another thing I was watching closely on this e-bike. It's fully hidden inside the frame, so there's nothing exposed or clunky sticking out. It's 36 volts, 7.8 amp hour, which gives you around 25 miles of range. More if you go easy, less if you're always on full throttle. What really surprised me is how quickly it charges compared to others I've tried. It was back up in 3 or 4 hours, ready to go again. Nothing messes up a day out like forgetting to charge, but the fast charge helps a lot. Plus, you can actually take the battery out if you ever need to swap in a new one. For people who worry about safety, I definitely paid extra attention to things like the brakes and lights. There are dual disc brakes, meaning you have strong stopping power, no matter the weather. I tried these in the wet and the dry, and they worked consistently. The lights are another plus, front and rear LED lights, plus brake lights and turn signals. If you're ever riding at dusk or night, people will see you, which I think is super important, especially if you're buying this for a younger rider. I also want to mention the seat, because for a small bike, comfort can be hit or miss. On this one, the saddle is surprisingly cushy and wide enough that I didn't feel sore, even after longer rides. And because the seat height is so adjustable, my nephew, who's about 4'6", and I, 6 feet, could both use it comfortably. Riding modes let you pick between a real pedelec experience, meaning you pedal and the motor helps, a throttle-only pure electric mode, or just regular no-assist biking. You've got 3 speed levels, and the digital display keeps it simple. battery left, speed, and your mode. Total beginners can get the hang of it in about a minute. I gave my nephew a rundown, and he was grinning and zooming around the block 10 minutes later. From my experience, the biggest pluses are the power for the hills, the quick folding, and how it just feels safe and fun to ride. I'm a big fan of the fat tires for keeping it smooth and stable. I'd recommend this for anyone looking for a practical commuter. Maybe someone in college who needs to store their bike in a small apartment, or even just a parent getting around town or to work. It's also perfect for teens. My nephew is obsessed, and the assist helps him keep up with adults. But to be honest, there are a few small trade-offs. The bike isn't super light. At just over 60 pounds, it's definitely manageable. But you probably won't want to haul it up and down a bunch of stairs all day. Folding helps, but weight is still weight. The mechanical disc brakes work fine, but you won't get quite the same feel as the hydraulic ones on more expensive bikes. And if you plan on tackling really steep hills without any electric assist, the 3 speeds might feel a bit limited. That said, with the motor, I didn't run into a problem, as long as I used pedal assist or throttle. If you're new to e-bikes, don't be afraid to ask a friend for help with setup, especially around the wiring and getting the digital display sorted. Most people shouldn't have issues though. Also, about the appearance, the bike looks modern, with a nice step-through frame that makes getting on and off easy. The included basket is actually one of my favorite parts, because you can just put your groceries or backpack up front and not worry about it sliding around. In conclusion, this Isinwheel electric bike for adults with basket really surprised me, in a good way. I started out just looking for something for my nephew, but it's turned out to be super useful for me too, and I ride it whenever I get the chance. The overall experience is comfortable, powerful, and safe, with enough features to make it a solid investment for adults and teens alike. Whether for daily rides, short commutes, or just for fun, I'd recommend putting it on your short list if you're considering a folding e-bike. I will leave all the information about the Isinwheel electric bike in the comments. I hope to see you again in the following videos.